Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Andy Billman here. Holly Wetzel there. It's been a great week. It's going into holiday season, Holly's favorite time of year.
Holiday season.
See, did you see that? Did you see that, everybody? She said Holly. She's clever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of being thankful, today we'll talk about how happy we are that Myles Garrett's back and he's healthy. I saw him lifting weights today on Instagram, so obviously something I do, and Holly does clearly too. So it's good to see that.
I did lift at the gym today, actually. So
look at you.
First time in a long time. I'm going to be sore as hell, but whatever.
Well, if I touched a weight, I think I get a rash. So Myles Garrett is back. We're going to give some Chubb love. Bally's makes a splash. I believe someone wrote an article about that, so we're going to get into that. And then favorite gifts. I thought we would do a Christmas theme throughout the whole season here of Set the Edge. And so today we'll do gifts. Mine favorite, I'll give one tease, is a heated razor. I love heated razors, and the one I found was particularly fun. There was two gifts that I thought were a little corny, and we'll get into that, and I'm sure we'll make fun of that. But first, Myles Garrett is back. Thank God. He's healthy, most importantly. But Holly, when you play the Titans, and they're known for their running game just as much as we are, you can't get more excited about that. He was off the list on yesterday, which was Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. So it's great to see, and we kind of teed it up already on Instagram, but let's tee it up again. Big stuff. You have to have him this week for the Titans. You just have to.
You have to. Absolutely. I mean, like we did touch on Instagram. I was a little iffy on there was a possibility that he wasn't going to miss Jacksonville last week. I think it was just dependent on when he had symptoms versus when he was tested and the quarantine rules, which they keep changing constantly anyways. I think now they've put it down to 7 to 10 days instead of 14.
Right.
No, I mean, having him back for this game is huge.
Huge.
We feel the major loss when he is not in that game. So I'm super excited to have him back. I was a little worried about how he was going to be feeling. COVID has been affecting people differently across the board. Some people barely get a cough or a runny nose versus to obviously very serious consequences. So
yeah. And that's a really good point. I think something else too that needs to be brought up is it's not a light switch with any injury. And to your point, something that, it's weird. I think sometimes when a bone is broken, that's more easily healed because you can see when the bone's healed. But in this case, you're right. It was just great to see. And, alluding to something else, we saw it last week. Olivier Vernon got held a lot. Jared and I talked about that. But when you don't have Denzel Ward, and now to this next guy, Ronnie Harrison, and Harrison's not on the Ward Garrett level, but when those guys are out, you need a Myles Garrett back. I think just to lift the energy on defense.
And Harrison's been awesome this season for us. He's really been great. So that's it sucks. I don't think anything's broken, right? Stefanski said so.
No surgery. No surgery for Ronnie Harrison. For people who missed it yesterday, Tuesday, he was announced he's going to be out. He's on the IR, so that means he misses at least 3 games. 4 to 6 weeks is the expectedness. They announced today there's not going to be any surgery. And then Stefanski on Tuesday, quote, "I'm hopeful Ronnie Harrison can make it back this year." To follow up on what Holly was saying, I agree with Holly. I think Harrison's played really well. He brings a sense of calm to the secondary. Ward is your lockdown corner. But safety is kind of your quarterback, and he was our quarterback. And, you need him in there. I don't think it's devastating as Myles and Denzel Ward, but he's on that next level.
Yeah, for sure. He's been a good surprise in the best way. So we've been plagued with, at this point of the season, a lot of teams are plagued with injuries. We're not the only ones.
Right.
But we really have taken a hit on some of our better and best players that have been making a major impact. So.
Yeah, EJ Sculata, good evening for anybody out there who's waving and saying there. EJ's one of our better fans. Going to that theme, though, too, Holly, the good news is Andy Janovich is back. I think they need him. He's the fullback. That is real quickly on Janovich, not to harp on negativities. I love our running game, but we have had a hard time getting inches, getting a tough yard. And I think Janovich is a big reason why to get that extra yard. And we felt it again this week. Couldn't score on the goal line and had trouble with that again. And the other one too, Holly, is again on that 4th and inches, not having that lead fullback, I think makes a big difference. I think that's a big thing back. They also claimed Tedrick Thompson back. But again, all that to be said, the Browns rating 3. We feel great, right? Boy, not according to the national press, but I feel great.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was showering this evening, shower thoughts, here we go. And I was like, I cannot believe that we are 8-3. It's really, amazing. And that's not, the Browns aren't normally what I think about in the shower, to be honest, but I was like, I'm happy. Wow, we are 8-3.
All right, I'm going to pause this for a second so we can do this. I go into deep thoughts about anything in the shower. And in fact,
that's what I'm saying. I very much, I've become this philosopher in the shower, and I think I've answered everything.
Oh yeah, I've come up with ideas, content plans, why I hate certain people, all sorts of really thoughts. But I believe you rent too. And here's the frustrating thing. My hot water heater gives out after 10 minutes. So I only get 10 minute sessions, and it really fucking blows.
That sucks. That really sucks.
When I buy a condo next year, I'm going to be like, what do you want, sir? 100-gallon hot water tank.
Get a tankless water heater. My sister used to have one at her old house, and she used to live in Charleston. And when I would go down to visit, I was like, see you later. I'm going to take a shower for 30 minutes upstairs, and it won't affect anything or anyone. So they're the best.
We used to laugh at work. I'm like, couch, because obviously in television, you're in other rooms a lot. So it's like, it's good to have a couch. It's good to have snacks. And God no, I didn't know the stack days back in the day. But I always used to say, if we could have one or two, a masseuse, they used to bring in a masseuse. Oh, when we were doing 30 for 30, they used to bring in a masseuse. Holy shit, Holly. I forget her name now.
Spoiled. I never got that at Fox.
When she would come in, and and there'd be days where it would be back to back meetings, crunching numbers, trying to hit times. And they'd be like, do you have time for the massage? Oh, yes, I do. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I do. Do you only have 10 minutes? Oh, no. Her name was Jen. I'm sorry. Jen. I'm like, Jen 15.
I love that you remember her name.
Oh, Jen was the best, because she would come in there and, she'd have this rocks, those little sounds and noises like trees. She's like, Andy, you seem really tense today. I'm like, oh, Jen, I am. I can't fucking hit these times. I'm trying to get these things done, and I can't hit this.
Oh, yes, Jen, I am. I'm so sore.
I'm so. By the way, Jen, the Browns are going 4-12 again. We're about ready to go in the draft. And sadly, that's also causing the snot right here. But yeah, it is. Oh, the shower. I love long showers, and I'm pissed because I like where I live, but I hate my hot water tank. Anyways. The Browns are our hot water tank. They're 8-3, and I have been very surprised. There have been many Browns fans who have been, okay, my hot water tank, lukewarm after 10 minutes. To echo Holly, 8-3 after August, we would have signed up for 8. We would have run with pens. Like, where do we sign? Where do we sign? Where do we sign? So keep that in mind. Here's the bigger thing too. It hasn't been, I think there's been way too much stuff. I just want to present this to everybody. The Browns beat the Colts, and the Colts are a legitimately good team. They're 7-4. So people are like, they're going to have to prove themselves this week. Well, that's true because it's a heavyweight matchup, but they have beaten the Colts, and the Colts are a good team. So the Browns have beaten a good opponent. They had a good win in Cincinnati. I know they blow now, but when they had, in that game we all saw, Burrow played his ass off. They had a good win with Prescott in Dallas. They have good wins, okay? I don't want to oversell this, but Holly, I just think for all those Browns fans coming into this season, I didn't believe this stat was given by The Athletic. 101 and 231 and 1. 100 wins, 231 losses, and 1 tie in the last 20 fucking years, starting in 99. So 8-3 all day long, and it's a good 8-3. This is a good team.
I mean, I think it just depends. Sorry, I just hit my desk here. I'm getting all excited. I'm getting all excited.
Exciting. The hot water, a lot of stuff. Going.
Hot water,
a lot of steam.
Shower talk.
Shower talk.
I agree. 8-3, and like you said, if someone would have said that last year, 2 years ago, whatever, we would have. Tell me where to sign.
Seriously.
I think what's hard and what they're getting criticized on is that, look, they have no wins over anyone ranked in the FPI top 10.
Sure.
The Colts are in the top 15, which is really good. But yeah, look, they've been able to capitalize on a weak schedule, which is a good thing. They should be beating.
That's
weak
what
teams.
you're supposed to do.
Right. I think so. There's a lot, even I think Baker said today, and I know you've said that we haven't seen a complete game, and
Correct.
Baker even admitted that. So, and he tweeted this weekend too. that he knows he has to get better, that he knew he missed some passes and stuff, and that he could do in his sleep, I think was what he said. And, I think, and we touched on this on Instagram, I do think it all depends on how you measure success. It's,
right.
If it's a black and white thing, I don't like looking at things black and white ever in anything, especially in sports or anything else in my life. I think everything is shades of gray. I've said that before. And I think this team, when you're looking at them and how they're playing, they are in those shades of gray. We've talked about what's the common theme for this year, and my first thought really was, progress. We're winning games now that we would be losing, and last week was a perfect example against Jacksonville. The Old Browns would have lost that game.
And they've lost those games to Jacksonville. Cecil Shorts, the Hoyer game from years ago when they were going in there and they were on a playoff march and they didn't make the playoffs. But at that time we believed that they lost that game in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. And to another point that Holly's saying, like, I am even seeing things like, I'll even point out the Cincinnati game on Thursday night at home. That game there, I think they would have lost. Myles Garrett strip sack and them overcoming that, I thought that was a big thing. I would even go as further as the Colts game. Parkey, that field goal, okay, it doinked, but it doinked in. Mm-hmm. Many times that'd be doinking out. From whether it's the Parkey play, from whether it is the Scottish Hammer punting the ball inside the 2 that caused a safety in the Eagles game to get that. They're doing the little things to win games. Right. And again, like I saw this, we see this with the Indians in their run when they made it through the playoffs, including this year. The Cavs run with LeBron. Little things add up to bigger things. And this team does it better than anybody. And they are very much a chameleon. If they have to win through the rain, they do it. If they have to play in sunny Jacksonville, they do what they have to do. Mm-hmm. They are not a clean team, but I think that's okay. And that goes to your next point. They have not played their best game yet. They have not played a complete game yet. Now, we're running out of games. But I think in these last 5 games, I think it's happening. I know we are running out of games now. But I think it can happen. I really do. I think their best game is yet to come.
I hope so. I think you're allowed to, again, this whole black and white, like if you criticize the Browns, like you're a hater, and it's just, but if you don't, like you're a homer. I mean, you're allowed to feel like, wow, like I'm so excited they're 8-3, but also they played okay last week. I think that was even what Stefanski said, like we played okay, and that's true. Yes. My fear is, with our running game, with our dynamic duo, that they take time. It takes time to wear down the defense, but and then they're plowing through. I worry though that we're not going to have. That's not going to be enough to beat the best teams. I guess that's what I'm afraid of on top of that. People are, I know Baker's QB rating, I think last week was over 100, and he hasn't thrown an interception. Well, we're also not throwing the ball nearly as much. So there's a lot of factors again that go into that.
That's true.
You're going to have to see it on both ends, offense and defense. We're going to have to see them both succeeding and not just relying on Chubb and Kareem Hunt to wear them down to get just enough to do it to win.
So here's to Holly's point. I got 3 of them to bring rays of sunshine and then 1 concern. 3 rays of sunshine. You teed up 1. If the Browns have the lead late, you have closers. Chubb and Hunt can close the game. You have guys. Let's just use a baseball term. You have a guy who's a Jose Mesa, Brad Hand when he was solid, lock the doors, throw away the key. You have that. They're suffocating at the end of games. You saw it. Especially Chubb. Chubb is suffocating in any of these games. That's 1. 2. Myles Garrett is playing on a different level. And if you need a strip sack or you need something, he's gotten it all year. I think that makes a huge difference in these games, Holly. I think that scares away teams. And I think that is a huge thing. So even if they have to play defense, you have a guy out there who can do that. And then what you're not going to see right now, but here's my third point. You have Stefanski, a guy out there who's really kept the ship calm. Yep. They embrace the suck mantra. I like that a lot. And I think that has carried throughout this team. So those 3 things, I would add in Denzel Ward too, but he's hurt right now. But Denzel Ward is playing on a Pro Bowl level. Now, here's my one thing I'm worried about, if I'm being truthful. Outside the Bengals game, where they came back and won, if the Browns are down, let's say 10, which could happen. Let's say they're down 10 in the third quarter. Can they come back and win? We haven't seen that yet. And I think that's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. I don't I want to believe that it can. I think they've proved us wrong a lot this season on a lot of different fronts. So there's no reason to sit here and say, no way, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Or that it's absolutely guaranteed going to happen. I think that, until they're in that situation, we're going to know. And it may not be this weekend, and we may not beat the Titans this weekend. I mean, that's a very large possibility. I don't think there's any major differences. It's going to be an interesting matchup with Henry and Chubb and Hunt. I think we do have the 1-2 punch, which is nice between those guys. So no, I agree. I mean, I really think that, there's still enough games left to make that decision. So we'll see where we land.
The Browns for the first time have pad. Many times when the Browns go down the stretch, it's like, well, we got to beat the Broncos. Like the year they tried to make the playoffs, you got to beat the Broncos, and you have to have 12 different things happen for the Browns to make the playoffs. For the first time, to what Holly's alluded to, if you lose to the Titans, now look, we want to win. But it's okay. You've built pad because you beat Jacksonville, and you beat the Eagles, and you beat the Texans. As I said, you took out the garbage. Those are 3 bad teams. But he won. So because of that, if you lose, I explained this today to Cameron, my son, if they lose that game, it stings, but it's not over. It's not game over. It's not like everything falls apart. So to Holly's point, it's a good one. You have, the Jets, they're not losing the Jets. So they have 9 wins. The Giants are playing better, so you got to take them more seriously. And then you got the Ravens, Steelers, and Titans. They got to win 2 out of 4. If they get to 11 wins, they're going to the playoffs. I did all the math. They are going to the playoffs. If you get to 10, I think you have a good shot. So all you got to do is win one of those 4. Holly, that's not bad. I mean, you take those odds.
You're right. Absolutely.
You take those odds.
Absolutely. And, it all leads back to also, I always think is right now is Baker. I mean, we need him to have, like you say, a complete game. We need him to have a big game. He hasn't really had much of anything big since Cincinnati. So, and look, I know that there's so many factors and there's so many excuses, and we're in the weirdest possible year that you could be doing this right now. Baker's had how many head coaches? He's gone through so many different regimes. I mean, he's, but and he's going to miss he's going to miss passes. He's not going to be as accurate. He's going to make mistakes. And we know that, so I don't want to write him off completely, but you're still waiting to see it with him. And man, there's such a major opportunity for him to lead them to, hopefully a pretty high score. I would above the opponent first half. We need something from him. And I think there in the beginning of the game would be come out hot.
Here's what I would say about Baker. He has a chance with these specifically. I don't even think this weekend, but this weekend too. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's break it all down. Fuck it. We're here. I think Chubb and Henry equal each other out. With Chubb, Hunt, and Henry, I think it equals out. Meaning I think Henry has a big game. I think Chubb and Hunt do their thing, and it equals out. Maybe one has like 180, but it's all going to equal out. So both teams will run wild. Okay, fine. Can Mayfield outplay Tannehill? Now you say that, and it's like, well, yeah. I mean, that's not crazy. I mean, but Tannehill's having a good year. But can they outplay Tannehill is the question. And I think that's going to be a big thing in this game as I see Holly Wetzel is frozen. Hopefully we can get her back. Oh, she's gone. She'll come back, though. But I think that's a big key in this game. Henry's going to have a big game. The Browns have not been able to slow down the run. So to think that they're going to do anything different would probably not be wise. But in this game, can the Browns consistently get things from Baker to make enough plays to get in there? And the answer is yes. And Holly had to disappear because she knew that she had to look up her Tannehill stat. Now look, again,
I didn't want anyone to see, so I had to run.
I understand. Look, she's having a big birthday, so she's got a lot of stuff going on in the world.
It's the most unexciting birthday on this planet next Friday.
We will tell birthday stories next week. We'll get into birthday week because it'll be closer. But anyways, all that to say, that's a big step for Baker. Can you outplay Tannehill? Yes, that's a biteable thing. Yes. Mm-hmm. Can you win at home against Ravens? Just lost today. They lost the Steelers. Can they beat a beat-up team on Monday Night Football? I think you can. Yes. Can you hopefully take that into beat the Giants? Look, all these different things are I see things for Baker that are attainable goals. So here's the catch. How many goals can he actually attain? Well, we're going to find out. And I think it starts this week. Again, outplaying Tannehill's not outplaying Rodgers, not outplaying Mahomes,
right?
Not outplaying guys that you think are elite. You can do this.
It's a very similar team. Look,
yes.
It's, and I don't think they've had the hardest schedule either, right?
Correct.
I don't think so.
They're very similar. And again, what makes it more fun, Vrabel, for people who don't know, Vrabel's from Cleveland. He's a huge Browns fan growing up. In fact, he gave a funny thing. For people who forget, he played for the Buckeyes and got drafted by the Patriots. And he goes, I actually hated Belichick because Belichick's the reason why we cut Kosar. So that's how deep the Vrabel Browns roots are. He is one of us. He actually looks like a Clevelander, to be honest with you. With the big chin, the rough thing. He's so.
What are you trying to say, Andy? What do I look like a Clevelander? Or
I think so. Yes, yeah. Well, not the chin of you, girl. Look,
I set you up. I set you up.
You did. That was not nice. Not nice. I compliment Holly all the time, and I get just knocked down. Knocked down. All right,
Andy. I was just kidding. I promise.
Fine. It's fine.
You do. You always lift me up. You're great.
I always try to. Like a ballerina, and just throw you in the air, catch you, twist you around.
Anytime I need a compliment, I know that it can go to Andy to help me out.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Ring that bell. All you gotta tell me is like, Andy, you're so funny. What do you want to hear? We'll have to get that.
Well, Andy, I have a question for you. Actually,
ready?
Do you measure the Browns' season as a success based on them making the playoffs or not?
I do now, yes.
You do?
I'm going to be disappointed if they don't make the playoffs. Yes. You?
I want to say no. I think that I feel like we've really turned a lot of corners after how many years of just straight sucking and just problems and drama and issues and just constant changes. I mean, it's just been such a fucking circus over there. So this year just feels different. I agree with you about Stefanski. I think he brings a calmness there and a thoughtfulness to everything that's going on. So I like the direction. I will be super bummed and I will probably judge them harshly because if they shit the bed, I'm going to be pissed because they made it far. And again, you're allowed to be pissed and criticize them.
That's right. I like this.
Because if they're telling that, if Stefanski's saying, hey, look, everyone, we're 8-3. That's all right. We're good.
Can we get our GVR 8-3 t-shirts? No,
well, that's what I'm saying. It's not that it isn't going to be enough, but I think they've made a lot of strides.
Hey, look, this team's made a lot of strides. Am I happy with the direction? Absolutely.
Right.
Do I think they need to win a playoff game? I don't know. But I know this team now, they need to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, at this point too, look, they've made it this far.
It's time.
You hope in their head, it's like, nope, it's
time.
You got to win. Every game, it is. It's that 1-0 mentality that they got going on every week.
It's time. It's time. What year's Myles Garrett? 4th year. What year's Baker Mayfield? 3rd year. What year's Nick Chubb? 3rd year. Denzel Ward? 3rd year. These aren't first year guys.
Right.
It's time. It's time. It's time.
There's only so many excuses and things that can happen at that point that you just got to get it. We're not the only ones faced with these issues that the Browns have been dealing with.
Look, when you have that and you have the Jets, let's just call it the way it is. That's a win. So again, I will repeat. If the Browns get to 10-6, I think you have a good shot. If you get to 11-5, turn out the lights. You're going to make playoffs. So you're in play. And again, that includes now being the Giants, who still have a losing record. Not impossible. We know that. And then you play the Titans this week, which we just discussed. Monday Night Football with the Ravens. And the Steelers. Now the Steelers just won again today, so they're 11-0. Okay. But let's be fair. Are they going to be resting if they happen to lose the game, which I think they will, going into Browns week? I think that's in play. I mean, I really do. I think that the Steeler game is not a given. Now, the only thing that sucks is the Chiefs keep winning too. So the Chiefs only have 1 loss. So right now the Steelers have a lot of momentum going in there as Holly froze again. which I'm sure she'll come back here in a second. But that's the bigger thing here too. Is like the Steeler game in the past, it was one of those things that it's always like, hey, the Steelers are here. Is she back already? Let's see. Nope, she's not here. But it's just one of those things where you just have to wait and see as we wait for Holly to come back. Hopefully she does. Let's see if she does. Nope, she's still not there. Poor Holly. It's her birthday week too. Everybody's in her thoughtful wishes. A couple other things here to get into real quick to wait for Holly to come back. But that is the big thing. It's very attainable stuff. A big article that I saw coming out was on Forbes. Should they be paying Chubb? The answer is yes. That's going to be a big off-the-field question. And he deserves, as Wetzel lost her internet, so we'll wait for her. So she's going to take a minute to get that. But here's a couple other things to keep in mind here. Signing Nick Chubb in the future is a big deal. Need to have that. Something else, too, that came out this week. Did everybody see Goodrell Hodges' comment? I did. Quote, I think it will help us out a lot. Confidence is major. Once we get rolling, then we will get rolling. I do not look at the Titans as a super team. They can get beat like anybody else, end quote. He went on to say some other things. I like Goodrell Hodge a lot. Goodrell Hodge has shown a lot this year that really shows the improvement of this team. He has a great blocker, and now he's turned into a nice receiver. He really is. He plays nicely on the field, does good things, makes a difference in games with his routes, and makes big catches. But Goodrell Hodge saying stuff like that does make me nervous. Keeping mellow, keeping the, embracing the suck theme, I think is important. I like that he feels that way. I like that this team is embracing this week, which I love to see. You can feel it with Conklin's comments, certainly with Hodges' comments, and you can feel it with Nick Chubb even today. All that to be said, I don't mind this team getting in there with confidence. I don't like seeing headlines like that. And Goodrell Hodge definitely on Monday created headlines with that. So again, for people who missed it, I do not look at the Titans as a super team. They can get beat like anybody else. That's Goodrell Hodge. I would lower those expectations just a little bit, but that's okay. Again, I like this team. I like the vibe all week that they've been having. Jared and I will get into that more. I'm sure Holly will too once our internet comes back up. Here's a couple other things to keep in mind too. Titans, it didn't like Bill Belichick. We talked about that. Another couple of things too in this game that keep in mind as we break it down more. You're going to see more and more about the Chubb and Henry factor. And again, I brought up, so I'll tighten this in a bow as we get on to the next thing. Just remember, I think slowing down Henry and keeping him in check is one thing. I think stopping Henry is a whole nother thing. You got to expect Henry to do his thing at times. He's too good of a running back. The Browns haven't stopped anything all year, so to expect them to all of a sudden stop things, I don't think is being reasonable expectations. What I would say is this, though. If you can just get Baker to match Tannehill and to go above Tannehill, that's the big difference in this game. And that is going to be I really do think it's the difference. Just like Holly Wetzel's internet. This is the I know. Oh, girl. Oh, my gosh. I know what I'm getting you for your birthday. Cox Cable internet. But I'll tell you, in this game again.
I can't talk. Sorry. I'm so angry at my internet provider.
I can see it on her face. This poor girl works so hard and she rubs her forehead. She's got internet issues. Let me just say this now again.
The 1 hour I just needed to work. Sorry.
Just one. By the way, again, I think the difference in this game is can Baker keep up and play above Tannehill? I really do. I think that's the key to this game.
Yeah, he needs a big game. He just does. I mean, look, we're still waiting for it. It's been, we haven't had a complete game from him, and we haven't really seen anything great out of him since Cincinnati.
Yep, I agree. Last thought. Did you like Goodrell Hodge's comments saying that this is not a super team they're playing this week? Did you like that from Hodge?
Yeah, I did. It's true. They're not. But of course it fuels the fire. And that's good. I like it. I like the right, let's stir it up. Let's get, we're going to be playing tough. They're going to be playing hard. So it's going to be a really fun matchup. I'm excited.
It feels like a big game. I talked about this before your internet blew down. I really believe, I like how Chubb's comments today talked about it. I will say, I like how the Browns are embracing this challenge. And it is time to say that. I don't want Hodge to go on too much more of a rant. I don't need any more predictions. But I do like how, hey, I'm embracing this. And I like the sauciness of it. And I like the sassy. I do. I want that. To win these games, we learned that. You got to have a little bit of edge. And it's good to see that in this team. And they need to play up there. You need to. The Titans are tough. Big team. They made it to the AFC Championship game for a reason. They are not a pushover. And again, not that it matters, but I think it matters here a little bit. Vrabel's from this area. There's no doubt he wants to beat the Browns. And there's no doubt he understands how big it is. Not that it matters, but anyways. Before we get into what Wetzel's drinking, real quickly, as I do want to ask. Thanksgiving, the ratings. We've been talking about ratings on this show forever, so I want to allude to this. The ratings were through the roof. Cowboys drew 30.3 million viewers. Now, last year they drew 32.6. So it's just a hair. But Holly, that is a huge rating. And the reason why I bring they did. And here's why I bring it up. Cowboys and football team is not a sexy matchup. Washington, Dallas this year was just two teams under 500. A COVID year kind of feels blah. For them to get a 30.3 rating says a lot. I thought it was a really, really good sign for the league.
I mean, granted, it's a holiday and pretty much the entire country shut down and people are home, right? So it's like, and probably a lot of that also, people just like to turn the TV on too, and they just leave it on all day when it comes to that. So yeah, sure, all those are factors. But the NFL's rating, it's no secret the NFL ratings have been so terrible this year. They're not the only sport, by the way. No. But so it was the NFL needed that. So it was really good to see.
Yes. And that's a headlining number. That is a headlining number. All right, Wetzel, what are you pounding back tonight? What do you got?
All right. So tonight I'm drinking from Masthead Brewing in wonderful here, Cleveland, Ohio. Falling Fruit. I always do this backwards. It's like a peach wheat beer. I actually had it the day before Thanksgiving. My little brother was in town, and my older brother actually, but we went to lunch and at the South Side in Tremont, Ohio. Ooh. And I had this and I really liked it. And then I saw the grocery store, so of course I had to get it. But I also know what I had there. This is not what I'm drinking. I wish I was. I had cinnamon infused tequila.
Oh, wow.
With a citrus salty rim. It was
that's
fantastic.
Interesting.
It was an aged tequila. Infused with cinnamon, and I just sipped it. Oh yeah, like that was like their shot, and it was
Where
awesome.
Was this? Is that the Treehouse Bar in Tremont, or where did you go?
No, but it's near over there, the South Side. It's called. So yeah, if anyone goes there, go try the cinnamon infused tequila. It was fantastic, and then get a Falling Fruit from Masthead because it's pretty bomb. So,
well, real quickly, and everybody knows I drink Smart Water. It's good for my belly. I love the antioxidants. It's Smart Water or whatever that beer is that Holly's drinking on sponsor show. We are ready to go.
Of course.
Nameplate. We'll say that brand every 5 minutes. Tree Bar in Tremont is one of my favorite spots. I love that. I've not been back there in a while. I love that bar. I love that vibe. Great bar. Just a great bar. There's a great restaurant in town there too that makes burgers with eggs on top. And not that that's so new anymore, but when I first was doing Believeland in 2014, they make these great burgers, and it's like almost like a house restaurant there in Tremont. I wish I knew the name off the top of my head. Great burgers. Oh my God.
I feel like there'd be a couple places I could name for that, but yeah, I mean, Tremont's such a great spot.
Such a cool spot.
Food and everything else. I miss it. Honestly, I've gone to Fahrenheit. Shout out Fahrenheit.
Chef Fahrenheit's great.
He's the best. He always takes
Chef
care of me when I go there.
Real quickly. Good dude, great food, good dude. Love that man. Love Chef Rocco.
He's the best.
Love him. Really, we need to champion people like that. He means well and does good things. Good man. Chef Rocco, if you're ever watching Set the Edge, we love you. And you're welcome to sponsor anytime you want. But yes, all good things. Speaking about good things, my partner here wrote a great article on awful announcing. You should check it out. And one of the big things that you brought up, which I'll let you tee up, is what's going on in Bally's. So explain to the people out there, what is going on in Bally's? I thought this was interesting.
Yeah, so Bally's, so it's no real shocker, I guess, that, Sinclair has known that they wanted to possibly agree to a sportsbook partnership at some point. And so now by far is, of course, like the best time. Why wouldn't it be with the way how things are, especially with the state of the world with sports and how much money they're losing across the board, the networks and the RSNs and all that. So there was a new agreement announced at this point, probably 2 weeks ago. It gives Sinclair and Bally's, which is they're off of, I think it's, now I can't remember what casino they're off of. It's not, I was going to say MGM, and I know it's not MGM.
No, it's not MGM. They have a casino in Vegas, obviously, and it's very unique. Is what I would describe it. Very hip, trendy, trendy.
Yes, very much so. Yes,
yeah,
and it gives Bally an opportunity to get into markets that are already legal with sports gambling. But then it becomes an opportunity for them to be already in markets when it does become legal for sports gambling. So it's such a great, and I think they paid, what did I say, 10 million? I think that's what I think that they paid for
the
it.
deal will reportedly pay Sinclair $85 million.
Or sorry, 85 million. Where did I get 10 from? I wrote
10-year deal.
What am I talking about?
10-year deal.
Sorry. See, that's
Did you write this article? Oh, Wetzel.
I'm all over the place. The internet screwed me over. I'm trying. I'm throwing everything together. Yes, 10-year, 85 million, which they will make that up tenfold if this goes the way that it should. Yes. So, it's huge. Sinclair made a really smart move.
Very smart move. Very progressive move. And I want to go further on this, not to cut you off, but I'm a big believer in this. In fact, I would not be surprised down the road if Holly Wetzel and I do gambling shows, because I really think this is where it's at. I'm a really, really big believer in, like, once the pandemic passes, BW3s, Quaker Steak and Lube, pick your said sports bar. I think people will be in there gambling. I really do. Yeah. I think you got people in there, and you did trivia. I think you're going to see people in there gambling on things. In fact, I would promote that because I think it really has become a big part of the culture. Now, COVID has not stopped that, but I think COVID has stopped that experience for people gathering and talking about it. Mm-hmm. This is very, very smart. For people who don't know, gambling is way up. In fact, the pandemic has not slowed that down. In fact, if anything, it's gone way up. And I think it's contributed a lot, to which we should do on a different podcast, about Robinhood for stocks. I think it's played a big part of how that has taken off. I'm one of them. I Robinhood quite a bit. And it's an easy way to trade and get stocks. And it's very, very simple. Now, back to Sinclair. One of the biggest things, I'm sure, I don't know if Holly knows this or not, most people, and especially around, not so much in the States too, but especially in Europe, people bet in game. So for people who don't know, they constantly change the odds, constantly change the lines, even after kickoff. And that's why I love this so much. I am into things like that. When I was in college, we used to make bets all the time, like dollar bets. Like, I'll take Kansas, they're up 6. They'll close, they'll win by 8 or more. Like, we'd be throwing dollar bets all the time. And that's where this is going. And I think this is where all this is heading, where it's not, I understood fantasy. I think this is the fantasy reality. Mm-hmm. People sitting there going, especially in sports where, let's just take college basketball tonight. If you got Gonzaga and West Virginia, which clearly I was watching before we came on, if you're in there, I think you'd have people not only watching it, Holly, more, but getting involved in it and knowing the players. And I know people hate to hear this. That's how sports will be back and fine after the pandemic's done.
Well, yeah, look, it's got to be as interactive, right, as possible. And I think, look, everyone is going to benefit from this, because if you're watching that game and you're interacting, those eyeballs, all of that money, all of the sponsorship dollars are coming back, viewership's coming back. If you have money on the line, you're not missing anything.
You're not fucking going anywhere.
And you're not watching it on any type of, not that anybody watches sports on a replay barely anyways anymore, unless it's for, any a certain reason. But no, everyone's going to benefit from this, from the league, from, the sponsors. I mean, the Bally's is making out, Sinclair's making out big time. I mean, it's just, it's a great,
very smart.
And now more than ever in our state of the world right now, bring on the Bally's RSNs,
Very, very smart. In fact, like I said, I think we're doing more. Jared and I do more. Holly and I do. I always want to do a sports gambling show during a Saturday, during the NCAA tournament, and just flip the odds. Mm-hmm. It's so much fun. And for people who haven't been, a sports book during the tournament, NFL Sunday, during like a big run of sports in the spring especially, it is so much fun. So much fun. The energy, I know it's you can tell I like to gamble, but it's palpable, and you really get into it.
As long as you're doing it safely and responsibly, we should probably add that in.
All right. Yes, of course. Don't gamble your life savings. Well, maybe. No, I'm just joking. Well, maybe. No, don't do that. You know, $100. Be smart. You know, put money on Gonzaga. What could go wrong? But all that to be said, I think what I like about this from a regional perspective, even if you're not into said teams, I don't think for the NFL it matters so much because it's already there. But for these college basketball, smaller, lower thing, Major League Soccer, that kind of stuff will start taking off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
Yeah, this is a big move, and what transpires from it on top of those non-gambling markets when they become legal, the gambling markets now. I know there's been even talk of them developing an app, a gambling sports app, so you can be gambling in real time during the game, like we just talked about. So the possibilities are endless. So good move, Sinclair.
Look, I'm even going this statistically far. Wabash Mountain Union. You don't think people will sit there and gamble? You are crazy. They will. And it's going to start happening. Again, DePaul, Wabash. I'm going that level. BG, Toledo. It will start happening. I guarantee it. Mm-hmm. Such a smart move. Cannot tell you. And by the way, would not be surprised if it gets into women's sports, women's basketball, women's soccer. I'm telling you, it's on its way. This is a story we tried to do earlier on Set the Edge, but I love. I actually know people. I don't know why I have these random connections to the Lobos, but this is the other one, the Aggies. New Mexico State and University of Booze. Again, I'll let you tee it up. Is that your story? But tell us about what this is.
Talk about getting innovative, right? And what better partner with a college than alcohol? It's like it just a combination we always knew belonged together, right? And always has. So, New Mexico State University got actually into the liquor business. They have the first collegiate licensed whiskey in the country. They partnered with a local distiller in Las Cruces, New Mexico, called Dry Point Distillers, and launched Pistol Pete's 6-shooter rye whiskey. So it's now available for purchase in and around Las Cruces, and a portion of the proceeds goes to supporting New Mexico State University's athletic department, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's helping out a local business, which right now and more than ever is so important to survive, let alone thrive during this time. The student athletes are benefiting from getting money for the program, for probably a lot of the other programs aren't making as much money maybe as others. We always know that most other sports at colleges, probably outside of football, suffer. So yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I wish I could buy it. And
look, we will search a mental health guide. That is my school. We'll go Aggies. And in fact, I'm going to find it, and we're going to do a shot on the air because I love these things. Again, gambling. I'm not promoting to drink. I'm not promoting to gamble, but folks, it's there. Why not? Like, I'm just that believer. If you're gonna have kids drinking in those Buddha bags, remember those other. Did you guys have that in Mountain Union? We had that at Toledo. There's I gotta find one. There's these leather bags, and you always poured rum and Coke. That's all we did was rum and Coke, and these leather bags. It's like it's water. Never knew what.
Oh God, Andy. No, we weren't drinking out of leather bags at Mount Union.
Toledo, we're real fancy.
But you know what we did? I'm not proud of this because really, when you think about it, it's quite possibly one of the dumbest things we could have that we thought was like cool. I mean, look, there's a lot of things in college that you did that you thought was cool, but our like drinking thing was that we would play slap the bag. Have you ever played slap the bag? Can't even say it with a straight face.
By the way, I'm ready to say this. I will explain a Buddha bag. What is slap the bag? No, I don't know what slap the bag is.
You take out a wine, the box wine. You take the bag out of the box wine, and you stand in a circle, and you pass it, right? Because you're going to chug it. Everyone's going to chug the good old Franzia. And someone, while you're chugging it, to try and mess you up, is slapping the bag as you are drinking it.
Oh, sure.
That's what we played.
Sure. I was I never played slap the bag, but I definitely.
So it's so much better than drinking out of a leather bag,
Well, again, we had metal flask later when we became cooler, but for some reason in the late 90s, it was trendy to do those things, and God knows what kind of fucking germs were in that shit. But anyways, I mean, I'm sure it all went away
I was
with that.
sick all the time in college. I was sick all the time.
Oh, there was like, to your point, did you see, I was in the era where you could still smoke in bars, and there was like that, there's always that point on like Sunday morning, you're like, my fucking God.
Reeked.
And you reeked, and you're like, well, you were smoking last night. No, I was like, Marble.
Even if you weren't, you were surrounded by a lot of people that did, you know?
Surrounded by, it's amazing. Like, for people out there who are younger, you did smoke in bars, and it was like you were the odd person if you weren't smoking in bars, by the way. So anyways, the whole thing, but we'll get to that a different day. But I do think that's very, oh my God. There were so many times on Sunday where I would sit there and be like, I must smell like complete ass, because I definitely was out until 3 or 4 in the morning. I was smoking with people, and I don't smoke, and I was definitely smoking. And I have a final tomorrow, so I don't even really have time. Like, I took like a proper shower course, but you walked out there and you're like, oh God, like, everything smells like. And of course, you're like, to your point, like you're like just caught. This is a mess. It's a mess. It's amazing. I got dates. Amazing. Amazing. Like, I never used to. It's amazing. I'd walk down Sunday, I'll be like, oh, hey, Beth. Like, you got that physics paper?
Oh, God. I'm cringing at that thought.
There's a story I will tell a different time where I got a peanut butter jar stuck to my hand, but that's for a different story on Set the Edge. And that was a magical.
We'll have to do a college segment here in the future.
Speaking of college, I was happy for Sarah Fuller. She became the first woman to play in a Power 5 football game. She played for Vanderbilt. For people who didn't see it, she kicked off. Vanderbilt's so bad they couldn't get her back on the field. But anyways, for Sarah Fuller, I'm very excited for her. Katie Nida really set the way when she played for Colorado and New Mexico. Because she played for New Mexico, Katie Nida is really the pioneer. I'm going to promote her for a second. Katie Knight is really the pioneer. She was the woman out there doing that stuff. She led the way when I was in college. There were girls who were obviously, still trick-or-treating who dressed up as Katie Knight because they were inspired by her. That was within the time too where you saw the Brandi Chastain from the Olympics win. So it was a 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. Big time when it was changing. But kudos to Sarah Fuller. I was excited that not only she got proper pub holly, but she was honored. She was celebrated. She was on SportsCenter the next morning. I think that's really cool stuff. We know we got the women GM from the Marlins. Stuff like Sarah Fuller is great to see.
It is. Yeah. And I think it's been such a big year for women in sports across the board, from the top of organizations and beyond. It's been, if there's one major success story out of this, crappy ass year, it's that. And it's a huge one. It's a huge success across the board. I'm just happy as a woman and as a female that, women are shattering these glass ceilings left and right. And they're being embraced and, being picked for certain jobs because they're the best person for that job. Yeah. Not just because they're a woman. They're actually being considered on top of that. And then also actually getting the job. So, yeah.
And competing on the highest level.
Yeah.
Competing on the highest level. The SEC kicking.
Big deal. Right.
That's the big, you can't get any bigger.
Absolutely.
To follow up on what you're saying too, there is going to be more of this to come. You and I have talked about this on a similar podcast. I think the Becky Hammons thing's the next thing that's going to happen. Her getting a coaching gig in the NBA. I think there's going to be more of this. Again, the woman who's running the show in Miami, that's a huge thing. By the way, we just made a trade. Adam Simber the other day got traded to the Marlins. So she's already making moves in Miami. But I think there's more of this to come, which is so needed. And there was a big deal. I know we talk sports, but real quickly, NASDAQ came out with a rule that they're trying to pass through the FCC, where every board in the NASDAQ, if you're in the NASDAQ, and Apple's in the NASDAQ, so it's a big thing, you have to have either a minority or a female in the boardroom, or if not, you will be punished, and you will not be a part of the NASDAQ. And I think that was an interesting thing. That came out Tuesday, I believe. Now that was a great thing, and it was surprising. And what's sad is 75% of the companies in the NASDAQ don't have either. So
yeah,
it shows
it's not this right. It's not the sexiest
no.
place to work by any means. And I think just in general, I think technology and science are pretty light when it comes to women in those fields
You're
and
right.
majoring in those fields and stuff. So, it's if we can embrace the women that do, because, they're just geniuses. I mean, they really are to do what they're doing.
Look, they are here. I mean, I'm not to the level these other people are in the World Poker Tour, but I love poker. And there's some very, very good fucking people out there who are not men who play poker. And you see them playing and it's like, holy shit, that is nails type of stuff. And so to your point, I just think I'm glad those stereotypes are being broken, and they need to be broken. Well, we all know, a long time ago. But the Sarah Fullers, it's a good day. It's a good day. And she got
just the beginning. I really feel.
Yes.
I really feel.
I do too. And like I said, I'm not just saying that. I think Becky Hammon's next. I think there's other people like that who are coming behind it. We need more of that. All right. Because Holly is a Holly girl who loves her Christmas, I thought we'd do Christmas things throughout the month of December. So today I did gifts. I don't know if you had a chance to click on these links, but my the one I'll do the easy one first, and we'll get into the lamps. Yeah, I love heated razors. I won't lie. It's one of my favorite things.
Do you have one?
I don't. When I saw this, I'm like, ooh, heated razor.
Well, yeah, I clicked on it. I'm like, it was $200. Whoa.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I think it's worth every fucking nickel. Like as soon as I saw that, I'm like, man, a heated razor. Now, obviously I just trim now as I have a beard, but man, that would actually be the first time like I would lose a fucking beard. Just this shave. I love, like, there's all those scenes from like Goodfellas and Godfather where there's that old Italian man. He's like brushing and stuff out there. You see it too on Mad Men, and it is great. I've never had that, but I've always wanted to. And the hot lather and that shave, oh, it's wonderful. And I shave my word for it. Well, and I shave my head, so I mean, I even that I'm like, I'm kind of tempted with a heated razor.
And that probably would be super nice. I mean, I wouldn't mind that myself for.
Correct.
I'm not really shaving my face, but
Well, right. Wherever those many places may be, but yes, wherever, like like your arm, maybe like a toe or something, whatever.
Sure.
Whatever. I mean, guys got ear hair. It's all we're guys. And let me just tell you this real fast.
Yeah, you guys are gross.
It's fucking nasty. It is like
you guys are gross. They just are.
There's no doubt in mere moment you're like, I can't fucking believe it. Like you're just doing shit. It's like, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, I was shocked. There is something out there called. Let's do the friendship lamp first, and then let's do the photo. Because I think the photo 3D lamp is one of those moments we're all gonna laugh at 10 years from now.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's terrible. Let's do the photo 3D lamp.
You should make sure link these when you post this. When this gets posted, yes. Include the links. People need to see. The people need to see.
The photo 3D lamp is horrid, and it's a popular gift this year, and it's horrid.
If anyone ever got me that, we will not be together anymore.
It's not even funny. It's just bad.
No, it's terrible.
Like I saw it, I'm like, are people really fucking paying for this? It's not cheap.
People are. And just so people, you'll see it when you click on the link, but it's like like you take like they basically recreate a photo of you, and it's like you and your significant other, and they make like an outline of this light. That's the one you're talking about, right? Not the friendship one, the other one. Yeah. And so
I just posted the link. Check it out. I'm telling you. It's insane.
Guys, it is something if you want to keep your significant other that's a female, don't do it.
It's like a bad Will Ferrell moment.
If you want to get rid of them.
Oh yeah. If there was already on the door. I mean, hey, if it's a family member you fucking hate. 3D, not cheap. Not cheap. I posted the link. Check it out. It's insane. It is so bad. It is one of the most popular gifts this year. Like rated top 10. I couldn't believe it. The other one, which I thought was hokey, is friendship lamps. I found that to be sad.
So like, you give one to someone and you have one, and then they light up.
And you put it on your Wi-Fi. It's like, but every time you touch it, you think, I'm like, are we really there? Why didn't you just call him?
Man, sometimes I wonder why I don't think of shit like this.
Oh,
like, why did I not? Andy, real quick, back years and years ago when I was in college, I'd come home. When I was a kid, I used to love when the power would go out. My mom and I would color together. We'd get out the lamp or the lamps, the lights, the candles and stuff, and we would color.
Sure.
And my mom's an artist.
Sure.
She's fantastic.
Oh my God, Jane Wetzel has got a skill. I'm not exaggerating.
She's great. She's published and she's badass. But so I would color with my mom, and I always get frustrated because she's fantastic at coloring, and I was always basically terrible. I did not get that gene, but I felt that it's such a therapeutic thing. So like in college, when I'd come home, my mom would get me coloring books, and I would color with my mom or by myself or whatever, but it was therapeutic. Well, now all of a sudden, it's like one of the biggest things for therapeutic coloring and anxiety and stuff. And I'm like, why did I not? I was doing that before anybody was doing it. Why didn't I capitalize on that?
Damn it.
Anyway,
I like too, and I can't, and I don't see as much anymore. The rock garden with the sand. I have to admit, like sand, I love having sand in my feet. I love like rubbing sand. It really soothes me. I don't know. It's embarrassing, but it's true. I love the beach. I know. It's so silly.
Oh, I know.
I'm such a soft, masculine male, but I love sand. Love it. I don't want it in my car, but I love it. Love it.
Well, yeah, it's never fun in a car. But...
Yeah. No, or in your socks. Weird shit.
No, none of that. But you know what? I would take that right in a heartbeat right now.
Do you want to be so great? Fucking be in the Caribbean and then have the Browns be Caribbean weather or Jacksonville. Well, not Jacksonville, but
my friend's in Mexico. She already sent me a picture today.
Ugh.
Actually, in a group chat, my other friend sent back just a picture of the snow. And it's like, I was like, I hate you. Like, what else do you say? Like, I knew that was coming. So it was unsolicited.
How bad was the snow?
It's bad. I mean, I'm on the west side of Cleveland, so I think we had like 8 to 10 inches, but the east side, my friend lives over on the east side, and they had 24 inches. Damn. So it was sometimes you don't know what you're getting with some of these reports when we get these major snow events, and man, it did not stop snowing for 24 hours.
Damn, I saw the news. Yeah. I mean, I was talking to someone who works out of Chagrin Falls. Oh, by the way, remind me, as soon as we get off, I got to tell you about something, but it's a project. Remind me, project after the show. But yeah, she was saying in Chagrin Falls, I guess they're still out of power. That's insane.
Yeah, a lot of people are still out of power. Yeah, my power went out a couple times actually on and off here the last couple days. And apparently so did my internet. So I'm not over it.
Next week, I did not get into it today, so we had a full show. A lot of stuff was stacked, but I do want to talk about college football next week. The ratings are all over the place. They are a bit of a mess. People should check out the Herb Street comments last night. He basically torched Michigan.
He did. I don't disagree with him. But Ohio State could be in trouble, so we'll have to talk about that because they could possibly be in trouble.
That's what I was alluding to. I think next week is going to have a lot more college football because this is a big week of not just, Michigan State and Ohio State's always a game, sure, but they have to play. If they don't play, they're not going to qualify for the playoffs. I think my last thought about this week, and we'll wrap it back to the Browns. By the way, the Cavs did kick off camp today. I don't know. I think they opened, right? I know I saw that. Look at you. I wore today homage, bright hope. And I'm doing.
This is a homage shirt too.
I love homage. I know people. I represent all Cleveland companies.
I like that.
Bright hope. And it's funny. They gave me a bunch of T-shirts I couldn't wear as I was fucking fat. Now I can wear them. So I wear them everywhere. It was funny. Like I remember this guy Elliot gave me all these T-shirts. I'm like, have you seen me?
Hey, that's motivation. And look, now you can wear them.
I'm wearing medium T-shirts now. Never thought I was an XL guy for a long time. So to put on that medium shirt feels good. The other day, last thought. I ate too much pineapple. My tongue was bleeding. That was bad, but that's all right. I know.
What?
Don't tell Nicole. She's watching. It's fine. But yeah, my tongue.
How much pineapple did you eat?
I might have eaten 3.
Wait a minute. 3 what?
Pineapples.
Huge pineapples.
I'll show them. I wish I could get them. Yeah.
Andy.
I love pineapple.
I can't believe you even just admitted that.
Hey, it's fucking me. Help me lose weight. Pineapple and grapefruit help you lose weight.
Yeah, but you gotta watch The acidity levels and the sugar.
No,
and it's not good for your stomach.
No.
All that fruit.
Oh, shit. Well, I've been eating them. It's fine. Fine. It's all good. I mean, it's got antioxidants. I read about this shit.
Okay.
The grapefruit helps.
Look, everything in moderation. You know what I mean? It's
what is that? Right. But yeah, I don't moderate anything.
More about our food intake next week, probably too.
Yes. That I don't mind.
On that note, we should wrap it up with your pineapple.
Real quickly. This Nicole brought all these lovely pies. Nicole's a woman I'm seeing, so she brought all these lovely pies, and she goes, "Oh, I brought you out." I go, "I love apple. Oh God, love apple pie." There's this wonderful place in Connecticut called Lyman Orchard. It's a great old school fucking farm. And as soon as I saw that pie, I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." So I bought Cool Whip. I did the whole fucking sweatpants day. Oh God, I didn't. I can't eat certain things anymore, and I just said, "Fuck it." I'm getting Beano out, Pepto. We're gonna be fine. We're doing it. We're doing it. I had one by that thing, and she goes, "Well, I'm gonna take the pies back." I mean, you may take the pumpkin pie back. You're not taking it back.
Oh, you're splurge of Thanksgiving. I ate so much cheese. I ate my weight in cheese. It's just insane how much cheese I consumed.
Oh, I can too. I love cheese. But I ate a half apple pie. My boys and I ate a whole half apple pie by myself. I went to my bed and my son's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I am food drunk and daddy needs to take a nap." And my two youngest boys and I took a nap like 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's the best though.
It was so nice. They go, "Are you okay?" I'm like,
food coma. That's a real thing.
Set the edge. If you want more of this, we were on official Cleveland Sports handle. Go on Instagram. You can check out some things we did there. Wetzel and I will be here every Wednesday. We're going to be doing more things during the season. Cavs games. We'll get into that more later on. That'll be fun. By the way, appropriate to you. You were in the Cavs thing, so that's a good promotion there. Well, you can get all these things there. Check out Holly Wetzel's Twitter handle at
Holly and Liz.
And I'm at AJBill79. You can check us out on Twitter. We tweet all the time. We are very good things to follow during the sports season, especially during Browns games. I am very excited about Purdue basketball. So anybody who wants to get Purdue basketball, which I'm sure all of you do, please. Irish football, please come check it out. Final thoughts, Holly, as we head into the Titans game.
Oh, Annie, that's like the most loaded question for this to end the show. I just, get the W, shut people up, just step up. And I'm really, at first I was like, I don't think they're going to win. And now I'm like, no, I think they're going to get this one done. So I'm going in positive. New outlook these days.
I like the vibe of this team. And I'm not just saying that before the week started. During the week, I like Nick Chubb's comments today. I know Hodge got a little saucy, but I like those comments. I like the swagger. The swagger is starting to be built. Now, no one had swagger like, Cavs and LeBron in the 90s Indians with Kenny Lofton, those guys. But you're starting – I have not seen the swagger all this year outside of number 6. Bravado 6 is always – Breaker's always got a little swagger. Holly, I'm starting to see it on this team. A little bit.
They're going with the chip on their shoulder. They're going in humble. Their head down. They're ready to play. Yep. They want to play hard. So yes, I got good feelings for this.
Check out Holly Wetzel's article on Awful Announcing. Is really good about Bally. She said some other good things which we went into. Thank you to mental health guy EJ Scalata. You're the best. Do not buy your friends a custom photo lamp. Don't. Holly Wetzel there. I'm Andy Billman here. Thanks for everybody for joining. It's time to now go eat. Good night. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Eat the cheese for Holly. Holly loves cheese.